Hello and welcome to another video from me, Rough Swordsman Wargamer. It's part 5 of my playthrough of Panzer, the game of small unit actions and combined arms operations on the Eastern Front, 1943 to 44, designed by James M. Day and published by GMT Games. If you watched the last video, you would have seen that there was some point-blank action going on down at the bottom of the map, which completely annihilated this Soviet platoon. The Soviets got a bit of payback by knocking out the last tank that was in that hex, but as you can see over here, the Soviets are 1 away from reaching their cohesion point total of 6. The Germans are still 3 away. And that may mean the Soviets will have to check for morale when they do certain actions. Just before we start turn 6, I just want to mention that in the last video, I wasn't sure whether or not this tank could turn and fire on this group after the target that it was aiming at had been destroyed. And it was kindly pointed out to me, and the rule reference given, which says all fire on a single opposing vehicle must be announced before any fire is resolved. If that target vehicle is eliminated before all the announced vehicles have fired, they are assumed to have fired at the announced target. They may not then shift their fire to a new target. So thank you kindly for that. That sorts that out. But luckily, they didn't hit the tanks, so no harm done. Oh, one more thing. So I've nipped in here quickly, and it concerns brew up smoke. When a tank causes another tank to brew up, the brew up smoke created during the current player step does not take effect until the conclusion of that step. In other words, because all fire is simultaneous into a hex, when one tank in the stack causes brew up smoke, that smoke won't be seen until that player's firing turn is over. So in the last video, when we caused the brew up here, I was using the -2 modifier, and that modifier shouldn't have come into play until the end of the Germans' firing phase. So once again, thanks for pointing that out. That's what I love about this community. They're great, supportive, and as you know, my videos aren't in-depth tutorials. They're just me playing the game and having fun and seeing if you like it. So thanks everyone for steering me in the right direction. Okay. Right, we're on turn 6. And the first thing, of course, spotting phase. So once again, I think the only 2 tanks that can't be seen are the 2 command tanks, the HQ tanks. Everybody can see everybody else. So we move straight away to the command phase. Now, the Soviets have only got 5 tanks left. So they're unseasoned. So they've only got 3 commands. And the Germans now have 7. So they're down to 4. So which side places their commands first? Well, as you know, we use a little die roll as we're playing solo. Red die for Soviets, black die for the Germans. Lowest loses and has to place their commands first. Once again, it's the Soviets. So what are they doing? The Soviets can see with horror, because they can see the smoke rising up above the woods there, that those tanks are gone. So what would these do? They've got a feeling that these may move up. And this tank on the hill is going to try and maneuver itself maybe into those woods. If this runs up the path here, it might try and attack the command tank. And if these tanks come round here, this tank won't be able to see them because this hill is in the way. It's a higher hill. So lots to think about for the Soviets. They may want to leave one tank on that victory point and move the others up to help take care of this lot here. I think we will move the command tank, if nothing else, behind the hill. We've got to be careful. There's nothing down this end of the map for that tank to command, so it might as well move up in this area behind that hill maybe. So we'll do that. So that gets a move. That's one of their three. I think we'll keep that there so it threatens these. We're going to split the orders here, I think. We're going to put an overwatch on this one in case this German tank comes into view. And it's also guarding the victory point because it has to be on there for a full turn to claim it. So we'll pop that on there. That means that can't do anything. I won't do that. I'll just put 2 fire commands on there. And 1 on there. I wanted to split that group up and give an overwatch on a single tank and a short halt on the others so they could move up and maybe take control of this victory point. But no, not enough commands. So that's them done. For the Germans, I think this, is going to try and move and untangle itself from that hill. Which way round is he facing? Well, I think these will do a move and try and flank the Soviet tanks. These, I think, will do a short halt. I think everything's in command. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just. Now, is that... If it moves, yes, it's going to be seen. We'll have to move the one on the hill sort of round here then, so it stays in command for next turn. So how many is that? That's 1, 2. We've got a couple of commands left. I think we'll do a short halt on these guys here, so they can move up at least after they've had a go at firing at those, or those. Those has got to be, that's blocked, isn't it? And a no command for the German command tank. There we go. I think that's it. Ooh, that took a bit of thought. Now it's the initiative. And it's quite important again who gets the initiative. The Soviets would like to get it so they can start firing at something at least. You have just realised they can't see those. So it's going to have to be a fire at those, which is going to be quite a way away. But again, not enough commands. I want to get the Soviet tank out of danger because, yeah, they're moving. So let's see who gets the initiative. For the Soviets. Oh, that's good. 82. And the Germans, 52. Soviets get the initiative in turn 6. They are going to go first and fire first, of course. Now, because I've been put right on that rule, I've got to designate who they're firing at before we fire. So these will obviously have to fire at these because they can't see those. And that one, I thought it was more than one. I think it's just one. Yep, we'll have a go at those. All looks a bit hopeless, doesn't it? But we'll see. Let's have a little zoom in. Oh, before we do it, just to let you know, I did remove the move spot marker from that remaining tank on the hill there, as it can't be seen. So we'll try these against these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That means the Soviet tank is at long range with a penetration of 13 only. But these are side on, I think. Yes. It's a level shot, so they're in with a chance if they hit the turret or the hull. We are at 30%, but the target does have a move command, so it is down now to 24%. So we can pop that there. So we've got 3 tanks and 3 tanks. Yeah, 3 tanks. So we'll do our usual top Soviet tank against the top German tank, middle against middle, bottom tank against the bottom tank. And the Soviets need 24% or less. First tank. 40, no. The middle tank, come on. Look at that, one off. Bottom tank against the bottom tank. 38, no good. So we'll try with this tank here. It's just the one against, how many we've got here? We've got 2 here. Again, firing at the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's a bit better. It's medium, 15. Again, I think we're going to be okay with the penetration for the turret and the hull. But let's see if they hit medium range. Again, it's going to be a -2 because of this short halt. It's moving, if you like, while it's firing. So it's a -2. Bit better, but not great. 40%. So 1 chance only. We'll say the Soviets are aiming at the top tank. 40% or less. Oh, again, no. 48. It's now the Germans' turn. They will have to return fire, of course, here because they can't see those tanks blocked by these hills. So the Germans have got 2 chances to deal with that tank. So what did we say? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So they're at medium range as well, but a penetration of 18. It's a rising shot. And aiming at the front, they're going to have a tough time of it. So let's see what happens. Medium will be 50%, but they do have a short halt command, which is -4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 30%. So top tank firing at the Soviet tank. Look at that. That's 9. That's a hit. Oh dear. Where have they hit? Oh, they've hit the turret. A rising shot on the turret looks to be the best one they could have got. It would have been 24 if the hull was hit. But it's even Stevens at the moment. Penetration of 18, armour of 18. Let's see if the variable penetration makes a difference. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. we've got a plus or minus of 3. We're on here. A 9 is a plus 2, and an 8 is a plus 1. That's our plus 3. That brings the penetration up to 21. So the German shell has penetrated the Soviet turret. What damage does it do? Because I've got a feeling it'll be game over for the Soviets with the amount of tanks they've lost. So let's see. 5. Knockout. That should have gone anyway. We've already got a knockout counter there, so we don't need another one. So they have fired. It stays like that. And we'll put that on the move. However, if we look over at the cohesion point total for the Soviets, which you can see they are now at 6. And now, because of that, they'll have to do morale checks when they move, when they're attacked, or if a tank is brewed up in the same hex as other tanks, which isn't good news for the Soviets. That, I think, is all the firing done. Oops. We should have removed that, of course. There we go. And it is now the Germans to move. So the Germans have a movement of 6 along the path, and they'll make use of that. 6, and I think they will turn. And these are moving at half speed because of their short halt command, so they'll only move 2. They'll do a free turn and go 1, 2, and turn. That's the Germans finished with. They're actually not doing anything with this, of course, so we can take that off. So I think we'll move this one. Which way are we facing? Yeah, we want to turn, so we're going to go 1, turn, 2, turn. One of those for you. Oops. For you. But it's moved, shielded from these tanks for the moment. But we now have to roll on the breakpoint table. And for the Soviets, something's going to happen to them, depending on what die roll they get. Hope this is right. It's all happening. And I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but you don't do a roll on the breakpoint table until they've completed that action that calls the morale check. Let's see what they get. Oh dear, they've got the worst possible result. They've broken. And that command tank gets a break on counter. There were some modifiers, but I don't think any applied. There were some spotting modifiers if units could spot the Soviets, but they moved out of the way. So they're going to get their break on, and it's dealt with in a similar way to the suppression on. At the end of the turn, it'll turn to break off. But while they are broken, because it's a command tank, dear oh dear, their command range is now 0. They get a -2 spotting modifier, so they move 2 down that spotting table. And if they want to employ direct fire, they get a -5, and they move at half speed. I think it's game over for the poor Soviets. Oh, I forgot to move the old German tank at the top there, who should have moved before the Soviets. Again, he's reversing down that slope, so he's just going to move down 1, 2 and turn like that. And pop that on there. Quick check, I think that's everything. And the last thing we do is the adjustment phase, the pivot step, the adjust turret step, full cover step. We don't do, but we do this one, adjust remove morale counters step. We can now turn that to off. And next turn they would attempt to remove that, just like units do with suppression. And we would move on. But I tell you what, I'm going to leave it there. I've had a great time playing this. I think the Soviets will struggle with just one platoon left to make any headway. At least they will get a victory point, or some victory points for that bridge. I think because of the cohesion point total being reached, whenever those tanks move to try and get into a better position, they've got to roll for morale. So I think we'll leave it there and we'll say probably the Germans would have won. But what a cracking game. I really enjoyed that. And I hope you did too. If you did, and you haven't done so already, do us a favour, have a think about subscribing to the channel, because it really does help. Pushing that like button, the thumbs up helps as well. And if you want to be informed of other content the channel uploads, then push the bell. Leave a comment. As I said earlier in the video, it's great that people in the comments are steering me towards playing this game correctly, and I'm very grateful for that. So thanks ever so much. If you wish to support the channel a little bit further, now you can. You can buy the channel a coffee, and those coffees go towards maintaining the channel and enabling it to continue to upload new content. If you wish to check that out, I'll leave a link in the description, and thank you. This has been Panzer, the game of small unit actions and combined arms operations on the Eastern Front, 1943 to 44, designed by James M. Day and published by those lovely peeps at GMT Games. And my only message from this playthrough is that if you've got it on the shelf, have a think about getting it off your shelf of shame and giving it a go. And if you're thinking of buying it, I hope what I've been doing over the last few videos has helped you make a more informed decision. But there we are. You can tell I like it, can't you? And face to face, this would be a completely different beast as well. So maybe one day we'll see that. So time to get something new on the table. And I hope you'll join me for that. But until then, as always, you take care and goodbye.